So since the Shelby decision, jurisdictions all over the country, but particularly in the jurisdictions that used to be covered by preclearance, have adopted a number of schemes to try to suppress the minority vote. Some of them are these voter ID laws. Some people, wonder about these voter ID laws. Where did they come from? Why has this become, the principal means of voter suppression? I mean, I would say, if you find something that works, you stick with it. And I think those who have committed themselves to suppressing African American and Latino voters have recognized that voter ID laws are astonishingly successful at doing so, right? So there are all kinds of forms of ID that were permissible prior to these voter ID laws. Now, these voter ID laws are premised on the idea of creating a form of identification that is going to require voters to go through hoops in order to get it. Now, what kind of voters am I talking about? Well, this is where the rubber meets the road, right? The average middle class or upper middle class voter will say, I have a driver's license or I have a passport. I think most people know most Americans don't have passports. There are many people who don't have a driver's license. I'm a New Yorker. I didn't get a driver's license till I was 30. But then people say, well, you go to the Motor Vehicle Bureau and you can get a non-driver's driver's license. Well, that's great if you can get on the subway, as you can in New York, and get that driver's license and get to that local motor vehicle office. But if you live in rural places and you have to drive, and these motor vehicle offices are few and far between, and they're not open on the weekend, and they're not open in the evenings, and when you get there, then you've got to have the underlying identification that would allow them to give you the ID that you need to vote. For example, that you have to have a birth certificate. Well, some of us have our birth certificate and some of us don't. Some of us wouldn't know how to get it. So it may cost you $15 to get the birth certificate. So you have to now add the travel costs, the time off work, the $15, all to get the voter ID so that you can exercise this right that the Supreme Court in 1886 said was preservative of all rights, the right to vote.